I'm hearing things from Ashley that I'm not a fan of.
Like?
I'm the star of the show.
I am.
Be here for me.
You are.
Wait, time out. Wait.
Okay, so I'm the star of the show, and he here for me. That's not even my energy, and you know that.
I know it's not.
I know it took me some time to get to the place that you wanted me to be. I know it was never you. I just needed to work on me. But now I'm ready.
Hey guys, welcome to Little Blackbird 91. Listen, quick thoughts, ready to love. Let me tell you something. There was too much unaccountability on this platform from both men and women. I'm going to be very honest with you, from both men and from women. Look, first and foremost, let's run this down really quickly and then we'll get into the actual crux of the show. First and foremost, Ashley, this attitude, it stinks. I love you, Ashley, but it stinks. This attitude is disgusting. It's disgusting. What are you doing? Okay, this nobody can tell me anything kind of attitude, and you're here for me, and baby, I need you to stop. Okay, accountability needed 101. Okay. Number two, love stormy and, as well. But, baby, listen, I know you didn't get the memo about the dress. You're absolutely fine. But old boy was flirting with you, okay? As much as I tried to defend Kirsten earlier in the season, I was being a bit facetious and funny and comedic about it. And, I wanted a bit of tension on the conversation. Kirsten was flirting with you. You were flirting with Kirsten a little bit. Let's be honest, okay? All right, just be accountable. Let's not start the tears and walk off the stage, okay? I want you to be accountable for what you did, okay? And then we got, obviously, as well... Then we also got a situation with Venetia. Venetia, a situation with Jabari and Tabari. Let's be really honest. Venetia was unempathetic towards Tabari completely. Didn't take any constructive feedback when it came to the fact that you're not communicating with your body. And, instead of hearing, she's able to label him as not being communicative. But, baby, just the same way, if you're not being very inviting with your body, and the host actually pointed it out on the show, that you're turning your body away from him. Sis, you were doing that all season long. We saw you. I wouldn't want to talk to you if that's what kind of energy you're bringing to the table. You know what I'm saying to you? So both of you are an issue when it comes to communication. It is a two-way streak, as he said. You got to both be accountable, all right? Then, number four. Now, Jabari, the way he said it, I can understand how it could have been taken a little bit wrongly, but I'm going to be honest with you, okay? I ain't going to be no man that's bending to the will of my woman. If you want to die an early death as a man... okay, if you want to see death early in a relationship, you bend to the will of your woman. Now, does that mean that you don't take advice, you don't take direction, you don't have counsel, you don't get wisdom from your partner? Absolutely not. You definitely take the counsel. You definitely take wisdom. You definitely hear her voice. You definitely should listen to your partner. And I'll tell you why you should listen to your partner. Because there's things that she can see. Okay? There's things that she can see that you can't see. But that's not what Jabari was. Jabari wasn't saying that don't listen to your woman. What he was saying was you don't turn it off. And it was proven because when she explained her story, she said, when I get home, I'm not like that. I don't do the bossy stuff. But I got to go to 2 or 3 in the afternoon. But that's not what he was saying. He was saying turn off the bossiness, the fact that when you come from work and you come into the home, turn that off. Right? Turn it off. That's what it means. We all understand what that really meant. And then the host and then the woman too tried to turn it completely on its head and try to make it a crazy scene. It wasn't a crazy scene. All you had to do was try to understand what he was saying. And instead of actually trying to bridge the gap between what he was really saying and what he had actually said, they made it 10 times worse. But you were out here trying to make it better for Ashley when she was actually wilding. So you can bridge the gap in communication, but you chose not to. You chose to go down an agenda to make it so much worse for Jabari rather than bringing understanding. You weren't helping Venetia. You're making it worse because you're not actually making her understand what the brother was really saying. Okay? Then obviously we had Zadia and Cam. Now you already know my thoughts on Zadia and Cam. I thought what Cam did was kind of mean a little bit. I know he was probably struggling to tell her, but this is what happens when you build it up, and you don't be direct. Eventually comes out like this. Yeah. So I didn't like the way that I don't like the way the way that he did that situation right with her. I didn't. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wasn't with it. I wasn't with that particular way. I think also as well, but I did feel a bit of empathy for for Zadia. I felt for her. She is a tough nut cookie, right? And I can also understand that in a situation with Cam, she just didn't get it. Poor lass. She just didn't get it. She just didn't understand it because, like, he been telling you all season long, he ain't really trying to be with you. I know his actions were saying different to what he said, but baby, okay, all right, baby, all right, baby, he lets you know, okay, all right. So I'm gonna be honest with you, Zads. Camille said it. Cam said it. I needed you to wake up and smell the Kenko coffee. I don't know if maybe Zadia has gone the other. I don't know if Zadia's maybe she's done a little bit of therapy and she's gone. Maybe she's in a journey of finding balance and she's gone to the completely other side where she's trying to be as understanding as possible. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's part of it too. So, but that was also interesting as well. In that regard, as she has to be accountable for that because that's not Cam's fault. All the way, she has to take a majority of that responsibility. And then last but not least, I want to say actually the beef between Ashley and the friend on the show, yeah, they're both combative. I can't lie to you. The friend is combative as well. I can't lie to you. The friend is combative. Don's friend is the complete same as Ashley. They are 2 in 1. I need Don to get himself together and I need him to recognize the patterns that he is existing in because your friend was very combative in the situation. You see, the first time around I gave the friend grace. The second time around I can't give her that grace because she came in with the yeah, and I was like, okay, well baby, you do the exact same thing Ashley's doing right now, right? I know you're defending your friend, but you're doing it back. And said, if she had come on a more calmer energy, I would have been able to like her. Baby, no, you wouldn't have because you gave her the same energy on part 2. Okay? You gave Ashley the same energy in part 2. So for me personally, I want to be very honest, it's the same woman. Same girl. Dude. Because just like when Don had his head down and she told him to lift his head up, she was also doing the exact same thing that Ashley was doing. They're the same girl, okay? All right, so, and then finally, wow. First of all, we got to shout out to Sean Unfiltered. We got to give Sean Unfiltered. Put it in the chat. What a representation this season by Sean. Sean called it correctly this season, okay? I didn't see it. Never would have made it without you. I would have lost myself. But now I see. I would have never made it. I would have never made it. Okay? Never would have made it without you. I would have lost myself. Shout out to Sean. He been calling it all season long. We give flowers here while they're still alive. Listen, I can't believe it. I didn't even see it coming. I can't lie to you. I ain't see it coming all season long. Okay? But he's been backing Shareese, even when there were some parts I think was wrong. But still, he's been backing Shareese. And, this Shareese and Maurice, the fact that Shareese is also considering to move. Now, listen, Shareese is not somebody who's going to pretend for the camera. Let's be honest. Shareese is not the type to lie and say, I'm going to move with a man if she's not going to move with a man. Shareese is not the type to say that she wants to do this just to prove she's got a man. Yeah? One thing we can put on Shareese is she's going to let you know what it is, right? Man or woman. So the fact that at the end of the scene, and not even the end of the scene, on the part of her show where Shareese is willing to maybe It's not fully, but maybe not go back to Miami, considering staying with Maurice. Now, I would have wanted to see a little bit more physical affection between the two of them. I don't really see the physical affection. Maybe they can grow in that. But yeah, no, I was pleasantly surprised. And, you know, shout out to Shareese and shout out to Maurice as well for actually doing the work behind the scenes to converse, to talk, to come together and really just try to get it, to try and see how best they can make it work. I'm not mad at it. I'm not. So shout out to her, okay? Unaccountability, Mizell, let's be real, Mizell, what are you doing? You're still not being accountable for your stuff and still trying to pretend as if it was all innocent. You are a grown man. Mizell, we are grown men. This is not even a really bad thing, bro. Just admit that, bro. You know what? I messed up, guys. I can't lie to you. I tried to play the game. I got caught. I was moving mad. I apologize. I'm sorry. You know, I'm a little bit embarrassed, you know, etc. That's it. That's all. Nothing else, my guy. Nothing else, my guy. That's all you needed to do. You didn't need to do anything extra than that. Mizell, what is going on? Why? Okay? We'll talk about that. I don't understand that, why he was, I just don't know. I don't know. It's just weird. Anyway, so, and then the final one, Kirsten. Now, let me be freaking honest with you. I spoke about Ashley being accountable. I need Kirsten to be accountable. Let me be real with you, right? If you want to own your narrative, you have to be measured in what you say on a show like this. Now, Kirsten choosing not to say something said far more than him actually saying something. In fact, he made it worse. He made it look like he had such a sassy attitude in the situation that now all the comments are saying, you know what, he's just vexed because he couldn't play Ashley. He vexed because he didn't get chosen. Captain. Okay? Captain. I'm going to need you to understand that you had an opportunity to give us your perspective of what you saw on the show. Right? And you threw a whole tantrum. And I've been there. And don't get it twisted. I have my moments. So I had one the other day. So let me not try to gas it like, you know. But you could have let us know your perspective and say, hey, you know what? Again, and this is why I said about people. See, sometimes you think you're trying to play us, but you're playing yourself. Sometimes you think you're playing other people, but you're playing yourself. Right? You could have said this. Listen, hey, you know what? After the show, I had some time to reflect. After reflecting on the show, I realized, you know what? Me and Ashley, there was great chemistry, but it wasn't really the right relationship for me, right? Now, maybe there's some things that I saw that maybe, you know, that wasn't really necessary for me and my growth and where I was going to. And, you know, I had to take a leave as it did, you know? That's it. That would have been a respectful manner. And then actually, then whatever the host try, they can't even get at you because you've taken accountability, you've kept it cool, you've been respectful. But instead, you chose to have a moment. And let me tell you something. I'm telling you because I've done this, okay? All right? When you're angry and you're hurt by something, yeah, you tend to leave and storm. You tend to storm and leave the stage or leave the scenario, okay? Now, him saying, I'm only here to fulfill the contract, do you think that was going to help us have a better image of where you were? Do you think that's going to give us a better understanding of what you came here to do? Do you think that's going to give us a positive reputation of you? And I can guarantee you, if we were to interview Kirsten, he would tell us he don't care. I can guarantee you. Like, I know for sure if we ask Kirsten, like, bro, why'd you do it? I don't care. He gonna give you the attitude, I don't care. And that stems from a more deeper place. That speaks to a more deeper aspect of him. That speaks to something that's happening deep within yourself, right? Because that energy is, I don't care. I did it. I did what I wanted to do. Cool. Okay. It's deeper with you. It was petulant. Yeah, it was petulant. All right. Let me make sure I'm phrasing correctly. It was sassy what he did. I'm not saying he is sassy. So let me make it very clear. It was sassy what he did, not that he is sassy. It was a failure of emotional regulation. And I had one of those moments the other day. So I'm not trying to, try to bar anybody. It was a sassy moment because he lost regulation emotionally in that moment. And it caused him to then react in a way that he didn't need to react. You know what I mean? So I'll keep it real in that respect. So yes, for me personally, when I saw that, I was not impressed by what he did in that moment, because he could have easily said one or two words that would have been repairing. And the fact that Ashley had no bad words for you, even though we know she chased you throughout the whole course of the situation. And it's funny because the energy Ashley has for him was not comparable to what she had for Don. Can we talk about it? Can we talk about it? The energy Ashley has for him, okay? The energy that she had for him ain't the same one she had for Don. Even though she messed up. If I'm Don, you better run. If I'm Don, you better run. And not run towards, run away. Because even with his attitude on the stage, moving mad on the stage, even after everything, we never saw energy. Never saw this energy. But you have the audacity, Ashley, to have this attitude with Don. Because people realize and they see who they can take the piss from. This is why when people start disrespecting me, I shut it down. It's why my reaction gets the way it does. I let people know. Beforehand, I'll be like, oh, now I'm like, listen, try me. It may be a bad response right now, but I'm going to let you know it's not me. I'm not the one, I'm not the two, nor am I the three to be disrespected. I don't play disrespect. I don't like it. I don't play with it. I'm not with it. Because this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. Okay? This is the kind of stuff we are talking about. All right? So we've got another few minutes as well. So I'm going to get into some stuff and show some clips, and we'll play some stuff as well, right? But before we go anywhere, before we start the show, 17-minute, damn, it's meant to be a conclusion, not a freaking thingy. But anyway, let's get into the show. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification of uploads. We appreciate you. Okay, let's get into the show. Welcome to Little Black Book. All right, cool. So I'm going to start first and foremost and go a little bit deeper, I think, with the Ashley and Don situation. Ashley, please. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. Ashley and Kirsten deserve each other. Okay? On this season, Ashley and Kirsten deserve each other. They've both got crappy attitudes. Now, Ashley, I love you, Ashley, and I know you watch my channel, and shout out to Ma as well. But let me be real with you. You both have crappy attitudes, and that's why you found each other, and that's why we're in a situation right now. Okay? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That's why we're here right now.
But you're not hearing what people are saying.
I am.
It was the tone. Everything was, I'm in control here. You're doing what I say. You're here because of me. And I'm getting interjection. I can't finish.
Keep going.
Now minutes later, and I'm just.
Ashley's attitude is no different to Kirsten's, okay? You can't tell them nothing, right? You can't tell them nothing. And when they misbehave, you can't correct the behavior. When they're wrong, you can't change them. They're not the problem. You are. And it's Don and Ashley is a mirror of what Ashley and Kirsten was. Don chasing Ashley in some respect, and Ashley chasing Kirsten in some respect. And the disrespect that happens because you're chasing in this aspect. Hence why we say we don't chase nobody. I don't chase women, and women shouldn't chase men. Because when you're chasing, the disrespect is about to start. And when we talk about chasing, what we really mean is it's not about you speaking to somebody. It's about when that person is showing you that they're fleeting. And when they're fleeting and you're chasing them, you're bound to be disrespected because they can see that you're desperate for them. So in Kirsten and Ashley, she was doing all the chasing with Kirsten. And with Don and Ashley, Don was almost in the same position of chasing Ashley. And Ashley wanted to be chased by Don because she wanted power. Right? Because whenever you're in a position of being chased, you're in a position of power. The person who's being chased is the person who's in power in the interaction between you and another person, because the other person wants you and you elicit that desire and use it against them. And so Ashley's attitude of, you're here for me, right? I was so shook. I was like, what is going on? Huh? Let's play the clip again for you guys.
Part of the show.
I am.
Be here for me.
You are.
Wait, time out. Wait.
Where am I
Ashley.
tripping off?
No, you're not tripping.
Okay, so I'm the star of the show, and he here for me. That's not even my energy, and you know that.
I know.
See that? See what I'm saying? What's the difference between her and Kirsten? Do you know how I knew it was bad? The reaction of the other host had to put her hand on Tamika's shoulder. That was what I knew. That's when I knew it was mad. Okay? That's when I knew it was really bad. When the host put her hand on Tamika's shoulder to be like, damn. Right? And even when Tamika's trying to explain to her, she's still trying to fight it through. Yeah? So, listen, Ashley has gone completely to the other side. That's what I told you guys about Ashley gone completely to the other side. And that she needs to find her balance again. Right? So, I was like, I was not impressed by that at all in that scenario, right? But like I said, I'll do my separate reviews during the course of the week, and I'll go deeper with each couple, I promise. So these are quick thoughts about this. I did want to quickly go to the next part. So let me go to, I want to go to address Vern and Tabari really quickly as well, because this was...
My lifestyle is not...
It was interesting to see this part, right?
Orders and barking orders because you're still in work mode. So at 5 o'clock, I'm like, no, you're not in charge anymore of the house.
But it would have never been
so-
me coming home to shoot orders at my men. My past relationships, that has never been an issue for me.
Okay.
So I think we were confused when it came to that.
I want you to pay attention. Do you guys notice something? You guys notice something? Do you see Venetia's body language? You guys notice Venetia's body language? I'm going to show you.
Because when I come home, I do turn it off when it comes to my relationships. But I cannot turn it off completely because sometimes I'm up to 2, 3 o'clock in the morning.
Look at her body position. Do you see the body position? I'll show you. Look at her body position. She's willingly turned her whole body towards Jabari to have this conversation. See, with Jabari, the conversation is different, right? With Jabari, the conversation is different, right? But she don't want to be anywhere near Tabari. I'm telling you, when we get to Tabari, I want you to see something, okay? I want you to see something. Watch this Tabari. Watch Tabari's situation, right? Compared to Jabari, okay?
A character was berated, so it just wasn't something I was expecting. For me, just because you don't decide to continue romantically, it doesn't mean you have to fall out. That almost felt like a falling out.
Talk to me when I've never had to do that in my life. I didn't understand the shock factor because I was like, well, nothing changed.
She doesn't even speak to Tabari. She speaks to the hosts. If you want to know if somebody respects you and whether they like you, body language is a very big thing. Body language is a huge thing. Now, towards the end, she does actually turn towards him. But at the very beginning, she wasn't doing that, right? And the majority of the conversation, she actually has her body away from him. Now, she does actually, there's a point where they actually do speak together. I'm going to show you. This part here.
Communicating with you?
No, you didn't. You rarely. The only way she texted me was, hey, you didn't call me.
I don't
It didn't
know.
take long.
So, of course, when I get around you, I'm like, I'm kind of over it.
I was never inspired to do more because there was no...
Was I not communicating with you?
No, you didn't.
Now, the only reason why she turned was actually mockery. It wasn't even to actually have a moment of intimacy. She turned to mock it. Was I not communicating with you? Okay. It was a mockery. There was actually nothing about that situation that was about intimacy in that immediate moment when she was talking to Tabari. See, that's what I'm talking. She doesn't realize that she comes off that way. That's why I'm now blocked on the internet. Because when I say this stuff, right, and we keep it real and we talk about your actual behavior, you can't handle it because you're not willing to be honest about how you actually behave. And when people don't tell you the truth, this is what you end up still continue moving mad. The host sort of checked her and let her know this behavior is unbecoming. But instead, the host didn't. And instead, they've wound it down later on, giving a conclusion about Vern don't settle. Well, listen, hey. Okay, hey. Okay. Yeah, I got blocked and called sassy. See, me personally, I don't really mind. You get what I'm saying to you? I'm a person that, listen, at the end of the day, I'd rather you just be real about the situation. I haven't said anything mean about Venetia. I've not said anything nasty about Venetia. I've not said anything rude about Venetia. I've just said that your behavior is a problem here. And that last video that I did got me blocked, and then I got a little message saying I'm sassy. I said, oh, snap. Okay. Cool. You know what I mean? I'm just doing my job. I'm not talking about I'm not saying Venetia's a bad person. I'm not saying she's a thing. What we're talking about is your behavior. Yeah, I got blocked and called sassy. And I'm only saying this because I didn't get an interview with her the first time round. I was like, oh, snap. God damn. God damn. God damn. And that's when I said, your attitude is the problem. Again, you're proving the point, right? You sent a message to me, and this is what I'm talking about when people want power. You sent a message to me and then blocked me. I didn't get a chance to, I replied to it, but you know, in that moment, you have the power in that situation because you get to come into my DM, say what you got to say, and then block me and call me names. Okay. Okay. Right? But that goes back to the fact we're talking about behavior. This is why we're saying that we don't talk about you as a person, but about your behavior. And if you disagree with the behavior, you can always challenge it because you can always say it's different the situation. Oh, I responded. I told her, listen, can this sassy person get an interview? That's what I said. I said, can this sassy person get an interview? I'm just wondering if I can get an interview, even being sassy. But you know what I mean? So for me personally, I look at the situation, I go, at the end of the day, again, once more, her attitude is coming into play here, and it moves her to men that she doesn't need to be with. It moves her to men. You know, it moves her to men that she doesn't need to necessarily be with. Like, if you're saying the Jabaris, the Joels, and the Mazels, I really feel like she pushed the Mazel situation way too far. She needs to be in that situation. And again, the host didn't check her. Because again, the hosts are not doing their job. You are matchmaking, but please help the ladies by helping them see some of the behaviors and the errors of their ways. How did Vern go through the whole season and not being checked? How was it we've gone the whole season and Vern has not been checked about the Mizell situation? The Mizell situation should have never happened. No, it's fair game. It's fair game, but it should have never happened because in all honesty, right, Mizell was liking Shareese. And then you end up getting a number, blah, blah, blah. And, y'all were talking all night, but you hadn't spoke to Shareese until later on, I swear. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So wasn't it until later on that Vern went and spoke to Shareese when they came together? But at the time of the conversation when you spoke to him, I don't know if she had spoke to Shareese anyway, but, it just should have never happened, personally. And that's why she got burnt in that way. Right? Because she likes a certain type of dude. And it's okay. We all have our types. We all have our people that we really like. I have a certain type of woman that I really liked before. And I had to realize I'm the problem. Not the type of woman. I'm the problem. Because I keep liking them. Right? So, me personally, I'm like, if you keep liking the same people, you have to look at you. You have a pattern that you exist in. You have a way of dealing with things. You have a way of going about certain things, and you keep going that same way. Then you have to look at how best that you can actually change that. You know what I'm saying to you? Yeah? So, yeah, honestly, I was looking at that and I was like, Lord have mercy. She wanted Mizell, and Mizell didn't want her. He playing games. Mizell was playing games. So let me get Seaway on. I got a few minutes left. Seaway, I got a few minutes. Talk to me. You got to give me some heat. I know you got some heat after watching it.
No, I'm so late. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, babe. You're good. I just did a quick thoughts on the show quickly, and nothing heavy. I'll do a proper one. Obviously, our super panel. I'll do it on Monday because I think Sunday I'm busy. But talk to me, Sierra. I know you quickly breezed to the show and watched it. What was one of the things that you stuck out to you on this show, on this episode?
Oh, it's a few things. Zadia doesn't listen. and I know that I gave, I gave Zadia a little grace where I wanted Cam to be more direct. But what I took away from this is that Zadia does not listen. Well, I was listening to her take the advice from help me out, her friend. We know her. We hung out with her.
Camille
on my brain.
Shout out to Camille. She's also engaged.
Right. And I was listening to her take advice from Camille. She's not listening. And I just feel like women should take advice from their friends who are getting engaged and getting married. That doesn't mean all of them are in perfect relationships, but at least they have exhibited that they know how to pick a man that at least wants to choose them. Whether what you think about their choices or not. Her not listening, I'm like, you know what, Zadia? I don't know if there's much hope because you're not listening. And when you're not listening to what the man is saying. You're not listening to what your friends are saying. You're just doing whatever you want to do. That's not going to work. My second thought, Vern has a lot of, she was her energy was angry. Like she was like very angry, and she kind of had a lot of anger towards Mizell, anger towards Tabari, and it seemed misplaced. It seemed misplaced because really you're mad at Mizell for not picking you when you really shouldn't have picked him to begin with, because he was showing red flags everywhere. And then her anger towards Tabari, I still don't understand. I wish somebody would explain it to me. Why she has so much resentment towards Tabari. I just don't get it. And I'm happy for Shareese and Maurice. She seems like she's in her calm, peaceful era. I really wish them the best. They look good together. They look like a president and first lady up there. They look fantastic. And I really hope that it works out for her. And I think Shareese is an example of setting your boundaries and don't moving off of your boundaries, because Shareese up until the end was looking like she was going to leave with no one because she was setting very strong boundaries, and she actually ends up leaving with probably the better catch on the show, which shows that you have to have boundaries and you can't bend on them. So yeah, Sab Eve, she does still need therapy though, for sure. And I don't know what to say about Ashley in that Stormy situation. I don't know what to say. Except for I think Stormy is crying. Stormy looked like she was crying because she didn't like the way she looked on camera. I don't know what she's crying for. What were the tears for?
Listen, I was defending her, but I was like, why are you crying for?
She's crying because she looked at the camera and saw how she looked. She said, "Oh wow, I look like a homewrecker. Oh wow, I look like I was trying to ruin the date." Yeah, ma'am, that's how you looked. That's what you were doing. And maybe it wasn't intentional, but that's how you looked. I think she was looking back at the camera and was like, "Oh wow, that don't look good." And then she started to cry. Sometimes women, when they're trying to escape accountability, we start to cry. It's the oldest trick in the book. That doesn't work. You can't start crying because you looked a mess on TV. That's why she was crying, Kojo. So.
No, I'm not mad at it at all. I'm not mad at it.
And what's wrong with your brother? What's wrong with your brother?
Which one? Kirsten?
Yes.
Oh no, you tell me, because yeah. You tell me, Seaway, because yeah. I've said my piece about him. Go for it.
Yeah, I mean, we talk about the sassy, the sassy epidemic?
Apocalypse
that you're a part of, apparently. That was a very sassy way to respond. That was very sassy. Him and his fedora. I know he didn't want to be there. Hey, Arava. I know he didn't want to be there. But being a sassy queen is not how you go about it. That was very unbecoming, his attitude.
Crazy in the dunya, I tell you. Hey, Rabba, give us your quick thoughts. Welcome to the blocked community as well. You've joined it now.
I done got blocked messing with you fools.
Wait, who blocked you, Araba?
So Zadia blocked me.
When?
I don't know when, but I just noticed because, usually she does recaps or whatever. So I went on her page thinking I'm gonna see a little something, and page didn't exist. I was like, oh.
Were y'all all on that panel? I see Aries is blocked. That Aries and all y'all was on. Were you on that one?
No, I was on a panel.
Before that,
yeah.
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is, I was accused of being biased towards Zadia. So I'm not sure why I'm blocked, because I don't think I said anything disparaging towards her.
You really didn't.
I really think what's been repeated multiple times is when people have not been used to being held accountable, it's a hard spot for them. And I think you can be viewed as the enemy. You can be viewed as, a hater. You can be viewed as a bully. But I think all in all, I repeated sentiments that Camille did, right? She just wasn't listening. And I got on Cameron because I do think Cameron could have been more direct with his words instead of continuing to show up and, continuing to see, let's just see where this goes. Let's keep it open. He could have just said, I don't want to continue in this process. A relationship with you is not going to work. And make things a little bit easier for her. I do still think that, you kind of compare it to if you're applying for jobs, right? And there's this job you really, really like, but they said, we're still interviewing more candidates. We'll get back to you. We'll let you know. You keep applying for other jobs. You don't settle on that job because it's not guaranteed. And so I think in this situation, it's similar because it's just like, why was their energy continued? Why was there energy given in this same spot when it wasn't guaranteed, it wasn't secured? And I think that was my biggest frustration with Zadia, right? It's just like, that's just one thing. The more that I watched that episode, the more I was convinced that Cam only got on the show to promote his photography. He was so unserious. Like when he finally excused himself, I don't know if y'all caught the smirk that he had as he was exiting the stage, and I was just like, oh, this nigga was just on here for some free promo. Like, because he was so unserious. He's like, I done told you in so many languages, I'm not really rocking with you. Like, I don't know what else to say. But anyway, here's my photography. If anybody's watching, hit me up in New Orleans. And I really couldn't be too mad at him at that point, because I feel like in so many different languages, in so many different ways, this man told us, I'm not where you want to be at. I did feel bad for her because I feel like being embarrassed on national television it's not something anyone ever wants to be put through, but the signs were there. I think the thing that bothered me the most was the interaction between Ashley and Stormy. That stuck out to me this episode because I felt like, I felt bad for Stormy. I felt like she was blindsided. Like, imagine coming on to the reunion not knowing your friend, quote unquote friend, has beef with you.
Like, did she find out there, Robert, or did she know before?
So the way that it seemed on the reunion, it's like I think Stormy was just catching wind of Ashley having beef with her.
First time.
You know what I'm saying? Like, Ashley made it apparent on the actual show with Tamika that like Stormy wasn't there for her, but I don't think Ashley ever verbalized that to Stormy because at one point on the couch, Ashley was like, I'm a bubbly person. If you don't see me being bubbly, then that means something's wrong with me. That told me that Ashley never verbally said to Stormy, what you did bothered me. She almost kind of assumed that Ashley's energy being different was enough to signify to Stormy that she was upset with her. But that to me is just like, Ashley, you're a grown woman. Like, if you can't communicate with your words how your friend made you feel, then you're definitely not ready to be in a relationship because you have to communicate with your partner. So I felt bad for Stormy in that moment because we don't know how editing could have portrayed Stormy. I do think there was like some type of inappropriateness going on between Stormy and Kirsten, but I don't think it may have been as bad as what was edited on the show. And I felt like it was very manipulative of Ashley to go back there and kind of dismiss Stormy's feelings in the moment. Like, girl, this is just a moment. Like, let's just breeze past this. I can't stand when people do that. Like, Ashley's already had time to process her emotions, and Stormy's just finding out for the first time. And for you to tell her, let's just get over it. This is just a moment. That to me pissed me off because it's just like, don't blindside me. And then because you don't want to harp on it, now you have to force me to move on. So it kind of showed me Ashley can be a little manipulative. And as for the rest of the people, child, this is the crew that lacks accountability. Even the hosts were pissing me off at one point, but I'm not sure if you guys talked about that yet.
You can go for it. It's quick thoughts, so it's literally quick thoughts. We're just having quick thoughts. I got another 10 minutes maximum, so get your thoughts out, guys.
Yeah, so
you hitting the Ghana brunch? Where are we going?
Oh yeah, I'm going out, guys. I got a brunch to go to, so y'all get it like in 10 minutes.
What is it, Galdem? I don't know how to talk like that. Galdem waiting.
That's all right. Yes, there's some Galdem waiting for me. Yeah,
okay.
So
sorry,
you got 9 minutes now. So
I'll just go quickly. I think the host did not do a good job of showing how unbiased they can be. I think they definitely showed a lot of bias towards the women particularly. And I'm a girl's girl, right? One thing I'm going to do is I'm going to call out men. I'm going to be on the girl's side. But I think what was really detrimental was like the host would not hold the woman accountable, and they also did not provide such like a safe space for the man to kind of like express themselves. I do not agree necessarily with Jabari's thoughts, right? I think like a lot of what he was saying had a misogynistic tone to it, but I do think he's entitled to his opinion. If he doesn't want to bend to a woman, hey, I'm just not going to date you, right? But I think it's okay for him to have to be entitled to his thoughts. And for the host to be like jumping on him the way that they did, it was kind of just like, I wish there were better ways that they could have found to facilitate the conversation without jumping in as much. But that was just my thought. I wanted to kind of get out.
I hear that. Seaway?
I mean, yeah, I think Rob and I, we're both girls, and we get on here and we try to always support women. But at the end of the day, I think you do sometimes need to hold each other accountable, so it helps move the ball forward and it helps you. And I do think the hosts, they were girls to the extreme. They really weren't. I think that, and they're going to do the women a disservice, not kind of holding them accountable. I was actually really happy that Zadia gave Ashley some good advice about the Stormy situation, because when you handle things in a passive aggressive way, that way, it's just not productive. Because even if Stormy was doing a little bit too much on that date, I agree with Araba. It wasn't fair for her to find out like that on the show. She could have at least known that Ashley had an issue with her, because it was already going to be bad enough looking at the footage for the first time. Because the footage, I believe, it was hard to see. I think it was hard to see herself look that way. And that's on her. But Ashley definitely could have, said something, you don't want to blindside someone. So I don't know. It was an interesting season. I don't know how I feel about it coming back. It was interesting. I don't know what 4 we would have back, the next 4, but it was different. That's kind of my quick thoughts.
And just to add as well, ladies, thank you as well, Archie, for being really honest about the, more of the one-sidedness from the ladies. And I think that just, again, puts it into great perspective that if any men come out and say, women are being biased, I think this is a great example of holding both sides accountable. Because similar things we've said about Tommy is what we're also saying about these hosts here. It leans too much to one side. Whenever watching Tommy just seems to be dismissive. He wants to get things done over. He does tend to support the boys. And the same here with the ladies here. They're supporting the ladies too. And it just brings an unfair balance that we don't get the best out of these the hosts. So commendable there, ladies, as well for keeping that fair balance on both sides, and I appreciate that as well. Still got a few minutes, obviously, got about 3 or 4 minutes. What was you guys' thoughts then to, because I know we spoke about Ashley a little bit as well, we spoke a bit about Cam, but I don't know if you, Araba or Siwe, said it much about, I know Siwe, you mentioned it, but Araba, about Vern and her situation. I don't know how you feel about that, Araba.
So I cannot wait until you do your interview with Tabari, but I think this reunion gave us kind of a head start as to what he's going to say. And I felt bad for Tabari. I did. I wanted to kind of wait it out and see if we could get more evidence on what that relationship looked like, because when Vern had stated that his communication sucked, I said, well, Tabari, you can't be mad then if she's letting you go. But he brought up such a great point that what exactly will inspire me to close that communication gap if your body language is telling me you're not even open to me communicating to you. And I really deeped it for a second. I was just like, oh, so you kind of left that out, Vern. Like you kind of, you know what I'm saying? You kind of made it seem like it was one-sided when really I think Tabari was unsure of how to close the communication gap because he wasn't sure if Vernisha even wanted to be around him. And so I'm not sure if he was just trying to fill out that situation. and give it a little bit more time. But I was appreciative of hearing that perspective, because I think it kind of answered some questions that I had about that. They have two totally different accounts of what happened. And so it's kind of, sometimes it's a little difficult to kind of come up with a definitive answer as to what went wrong. But I think I'm giving grace to Jabari, because I don't know if I would feel comfortable reaching out as much to someone who closes themselves off to me. But then, to also hold him accountable, then why did you stay so long? Right? Like, I feel like I'm not really sure what these contracts are looking like, but I think at the end of the day, everyone is making it seem like there's a gun being held to their heads to stay on the show. And I kind of feel like, if y'all are super invested and you're serious about finding love, where's the accountability to walk away when you're not really getting your needs met? So that's what can be a little bit frustrating about this whole process. But yeah, I think we all knew Vernisha wasn't into Tabari. Her, just the way she was not willing to face him and speak to him like a human being on the reunion was a dead giveaway. And I think Vernisha is like one of those types of people who they want to show you so bad how much they've healed, but it's really performative. It's not, they haven't done the actual internal work. You know what I'm saying? It's more so of a like, oh yeah, being healed in theory is a cool thing, but I don't know what that looks like on paper. I don't practically know how to show that I'm healed. Because that's what it gave this whole reunion. It's just like, I'm loud, confidently loud. Look at me, my self-esteem is high. I'm not going to choose a weak link. And it was really like, but really, sis? Like, I think I really haven't seen any product of that. And I thought it was funny because when it came to Jabari, um, there's been a few times during the show where Venetia had stated that, like, she can be traditional. She wants a traditional relationship. But at the same time, how is that the very thing that broke you and Jabari up? So which one is it? Like, are we going to be traditional, or are we going to be out up to 2 a.m. in the morning? And there's nothing wrong with being an entrepreneur. I have a lot of entrepreneurial friends. I love what they do, but I think even they know when to kind of like say, hey, I want to live in my soft era. If my man is home, like, there's no need for me to be out to 2 to 3 a.m. in the morning. So I kind of want Vernisha to like find a lane and, not necessarily stay there and be one dimensional, but I think I'm not really sure if she even knows what she wants.
Appreciate. Go for it, Sue, yeah.
Yeah, I think what Vern, I hope she hears, and I hope she doesn't block me, because I need her to hear this part, right? I hear her. I hear her with the y'all meaning us, the community, can't tell her who to like. I hear her with the fact that Tabari probably wasn't communicating the best. But like Araba says, I need her to do some deep work as to whether she ever liked this man to begin with. And if she was ever giving him any choosing signals to do anything more than what he was doing. I think the fact of the matter is, when she had to leave Jabari, right, alone, right? She really wanted Jabari. But then she had to pick Tabari, and she was waiting for Tabari to be extraordinary and to have some of Jabari's characteristics, and that just wasn't him. And when he didn't go above and beyond and kind of make her forget about Jabari, I think she started to resent him. Resent him in the fact that she was even with him. Like, she knew she couldn't go back to Jabari, but Tabari just wasn't it. That's all it is. That's all it is. She wanted him to go above and beyond, and he was meeting expectations at best. And because he was meeting expectations and wasn't going above and beyond, she was starting to get annoyed with him. Because it's like, dang, why can't you be like Jabari, but like more easygoing and free-flowing with a little bit of extra coin? And it was starting to piss her off. So I think that's what it is.
And listen, I think you know, just to bring it to a good conclusion, what you said, Siwe, is something that I was even going to say, and I thank you for reminding me. I really didn't like the fact the hosts, as well as the ladies, were sitting there whilst Jabari and Tabari were there, saying Vern needed Tabari and Vern needed a mixture of Jabari and Tabari. I felt it was kind of a little bit disrespectful. This is the kind of conversation you have when people are not there. Don't have it when the person's there. I just felt like that was a little bit tacky. I felt it was a little bit disrespectful. We all know it's the truth. Like what you just said is exactly what it is.
They laughed it off, which I thought was good on them. But I was like, dang, these are humans. They're not Skittles.
This is one. Like this.
Just put them together. Like Play-Doh.
It would have been great for you. You know what I mean? And I felt that was a little bit disrespectful. And I think that was kind of the tone that I was getting from the whole entire show. That's where it was going a bit off key. It's like that wasn't a moment to do that. I get what they meant. I did. And I understood what they were trying to say. It just wasn't the right time when both of them are sitting on the panel with you and just saying, you know what, if you two came together, that would have been perfect for Vern. And it's just like a little bit disrespectful in that moment, but I think you kind of eloquently explained it. Well, listen, look, guys, my time is up, okay? Yeah, we're going to do a panel on Monday, so if you're around on Monday evening, we'll do a panel then for the show. But, you know, it's going to be interesting because I have reached out to Tabari and Cam, and they've said they will do an interview, so it'll probably end up next week as well. So we'll get those organized for you guys as well. And I think I'll probably end up doing Shareese, and maybe I'll get Ashley as well, I don't know. I probably you know maxed out my credit card and Ashley, I don't know, but you listen, we'll get those interviews to you guys as well. Thank you guys for joining us. You had 600 come and join us for this quick brunch of a episode, and it was quite the intriguing one at that. Leave your comments down below. I know you guys want to have your say. Put it in the comments. Have more discourse. We appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. And yes, don't do anything I wouldn't do, guys. Much love.
Bye, y'all.
Bye-bye.
Bye, y'all. Okay.